Hello YouTube, how's it going? It's a professional here today, and today we are purchasing the Deluxo. This is the vehicle everybody wanted me to do a review on purchase, so let's get this one started right now. It costs $3,550,000. That's a trade-in price, so it's a little more expensive than the other vehicles. Let's take a look at what this has to offer exactly. We know it can fly, but what else can it do? Let's take a look right now. So at the start of this review, I wanted to say is you don't need an Avenger in order to customize vehicles like this. You can just drive it over to the mobile operations center if you already own it from the gun running add-on, and you can save money because you don't have to buy an Avenger. You can just use the mobile op center if you already own one. So you can just this vehicle, you can just customize this like a regular car, nothing really special here. The only unique upgrade on here are the weapons upgrade, and the weapons upgrade give you machine guns and missile launcher. The machine guns aren't that great. They're similar to the Night Shark machine guns. They're not the greatest. The missiles are actually good. There's 30 missiles you hold, and these missiles are similar to the Ruiner and Vigilante missiles. They're very accurate and really effective. The car has a notable feature where it can hover and it can fly. Let me demonstrate that for you guys right now. Okay, so starting out, this car actually has 3 driving modes. It has the regular driving mode that you're seeing right here. Nothing special about this, just regular car driving. But then if you press X right now, you actually go into hover mode. And this is just hovering. This is just hovering around. This is nothing really special, but if you want to cross like water really quickly and just want to float above it, or just like get something in the ocean, this would be good for that. But the other one right here is if you pull straight up, this actually activates flight mode. It actually pulls up wings, and then you're actually flying. So there's driving, there's hovering, and then there's actually flying. And the flight mode itself, like, it's not the fastest car in the game. Like other vehicles such as the Oppressor certainly beat this one in flight. I mean, it is nice though that it doesn't glide, so this thing can basically stay in the air forever. You don't need to glide like with the Oppressor, so that's one plus on this vehicle. However, if you try to pull up with this vehicle, you can pull up, and you will eventually get up to the height that you want to get up with, but it takes so long pulling up with this thing. I mean, just look at how I'm pulling up right now. Just look at this. And what kind of disgusted me, when I was doing the heist mission the first time, I didn't pull up until too late. I pulled up too late when I was chasing the cargo plane, and the cargo plane got really high in the air, and my teammates, and then I had to fly all the way up to them, and it was kind of annoying doing that. So, I mean, it is nice. I'm already on top of the Mace Bank Tower, and I can go pretty high with this thing. I can go pretty much the height of a plane, but it's not the fastest way around. But what the advantage of it is, it's a car that can fly, and it can go into hover mode. Hover mode on this thing is really good for going out far in the ocean or crossing bodies of water. That's one nice thing about it. And if you're doing CEO cargo, this would be a good way to pick up the crates, but you would have to probably press down on this thing in order to get a little lower to try to pick it up. But it is a good way to get crates. So if you're looking to pick up crates with this thing is a good way if you ever have that annoying ocean mission. However, what would happen if you had to get something deeper? Like if something was underwater and you had to get it and you're in hover mode, what would happen if you got out of that? Well, we're going to test right now. Let's see what happens. And the thing sinks. So that's just great. So if you have to dive and you have to get something in the middle of the ocean underwater, you're trying to get something for the few rare missions that you have to get something underwater, you want to go underwater, well, guess what? This thing is just going to nosedive down and immediately deactivate out of hover mode. It's kind of disappointing, you know. I wish that it would get out. I wish that it would stay in hover mode. So it would just stay in hover mode while you're getting down. You dive back and then you get back in. So it gets out of hover mode, and it's kind of annoying. But what about if we wanted to get back into a car? Would we be able to do that in the ocean? Let's see. Yes, we can. So if you ever get trapped in the ocean, you can pick up people. If your friend's stuck in the water, you can pick them up with this thing. They can get in. But it's kind of a weird animation, though. They teleport inside. But it's quicker than manually getting in, but it's still kind of a weird animation. Okay, this is a test to see how effective this is during a headhunter. Let's take a look right now. So as you guys see, for jobs like Headhunter, it's definitely effective. Okay, so here I want to do a test, and I want to do the ultimate speed test right here, the Deluxos versus the Oppressor, to determine which one is the better in the air. And here, we are doing an ultimate race. We are racing from the top of Mount Chiliad all the way down to the bottom of the airport to the hangar. And to make this test even better, I'm versing two Deluxos in this test. So it's the Oppressor versus the two Deluxos. So let's do this right now. Let's see who wins this test exactly. I'm pretty confident that the Oppressor is going to win this test. And in this test, everybody's allowed to use whatever they want. They can fly, they can get on the ground, they can use boost. But for this sake of it, I'm just going to be trying to glide all the way. So let's see exactly what this is like, and let's see if the Oppressor is going to beat this. I'm pretty confident the Oppressor is going to win this test easily. Let's take a look right now, and I'm going to do my best to glide all the way across the map right now. Okay, let me go right here. Let me speed this. Okay, so let's speed this up to save time exactly, because in this test I am going to be trying my absolute best to glide all the way. So I attempted here to glide all the way to the airport, and I pretty much made it gliding all the way to the airport. But note that in this test, the Deluxos, they're flying while the Oppressor is just gliding. So it's a lot more difficult for the Oppressor to maintain in the air. It's a lot easier for the Deluxos to stay in the air. However, even with the Oppressor gliding, it still travels a lot faster than the Deluxos. I mean, just look down there, second place and third place. You can see exactly how much they are behind me. Looks like I'm 6,000 feet ahead of these guys right now. And Deluxos are pretty close to each other. They're like between like 1,000 feet between each other. But here I have a huge lead on them. Huge lead. Right here, almost at the airport right now. 5,000 feet remaining. Let's take a look, glide all the way in here. Now we got it here. So the Oppressor manages to get across the map in about 3 minutes and 20 seconds from Mount Chiliad to the bottom of the map to the airport. And the Deluxos are still far behind. They're 5,000, 7,000 feet behind. So even if the Oppressor glides, it's still much faster than the Deluxos. So here I wanted to do a second speed test, and I wanted to do a land speed test. Can the Oppressor beat them on land? Let's see right now. And in this test right here, they didn't crash at all. So they drove in a straight line just like me as well. They had to weave a little bit of a traffic, but I wanted to do a long distance race right here just to see what would happen. And the Oppressor still beats the Deluxos, even on land. And here in terms of weapons, the Deluxo carries 30 missiles in total. They are the same missiles that are in the Ruiner 2000. These are the very accurate missiles. These missiles will almost always hit the target, will very rarely miss. Now, how does this thing actually handle against anti-air? Well, I'm firing homing launchers. I was surprised by this. It's actually pretty easy to dodge with this. I thought it'd be really easy to hit these, but it's actually pretty easy to dodge with these. Even up against a buzzard, it's really easy for them to still dodge. But if an other air vehicle goes up against them, they're gonna die because these missiles are so accurate. Just look at this. I stand no chance against these guys. However, other weapons will easily lock on and blow these cars up, even from one missile, such as the Chernobog, the Ruiner, the Vigilante, the Grunt Running Sam. These missiles are different. They're more accurate, and they will almost always hit the target. Okay, and this Deluxo actually has the same missiles as in the Ruiner and the Vigilante, the very accurate missiles, different than the ones in the Buzzard and the Oppressor. Just look at this. You guys remember how earlier the Deluxo was dodging missiles from the homing launcher easily? Let's see if it can dodge a missile from another Deluxo. Let's look. Just one missile. Let's see. Can't dodge it. It fires Ruiner and Vigilante missiles. It fires the more accurate missiles, so it fires the really good missiles. In a damage resistance test, it only takes one homing launcher. Not surprised really by this. It's more of a car. Okay, so here we got the pros and the cons. This car, it can hover and it can fly. And the reason I'm putting it down as a pro because it has a hover mode in addition to flight mode. So it has driving mode, can hover, and it can fly. And it crosses water really quickly. So if you go into hover mode with this thing, you can get over water really quickly. You could hover over water. And in addition to that, it's great for missions and cargo. So if you gotta complete missions with this thing, you want to fly around. It has the Ruiner missiles, which are very accurate. They're much more accurate than regular homing missiles inside the Buzzard and even on the ground, and the Savage. So these are the most accurate missiles, and it's good for picking up cargo, especially if it's in the ocean. So in addition to the Ruiner missiles, it makes it a lot easier. And the missiles include an MG. And the reason I'm putting that down is because in other vehicles, like, for instance, the Thruster and the Akula, where we had to purchase different kinds of weapons. Like in the Akula, we had to purchase the Barrage and the Homing. We had to purchase those separate, and even if we purchased those separate, we had to constantly keep rebuying if we wanted to switch. In the Jetpack, it was machine guns and machine guns and missiles that we had to keep buying the Switch. This one, it includes the whole package, so it includes missiles and MG for just one price, so you don't gotta buy it anymore. So you have both, and you can constantly switch between the two. And it has 30 missiles, so that's a good amount of missiles, a ton, and that they're Ruiner missiles, that's very effective. And the car can dodge most missiles. As you guys saw, it was spinning around a lot, so it does have the ability to dodge most missiles, except missiles from like the gun running Sam, the Vigilante, the Ruiner, other Deluxos, and the Chernobyl. But other than that, most missiles like the homing missile, the Buzzard, Savage, Hydra, it'll be able to dodge missiles from these sources. And some of the cons here are it sinks if you leave hover mode. And what I mean by that exactly is if you're going in the water and you got to get something in the water, like if you got to go something underwater and you get out, it sinks. And it's kind of really disappointing because it kind of makes no sense. Wouldn't, if this was a real car, wouldn't it sink if you disabled hover mode? But like if you just got out of the car and you wouldn't disable it, it would still technically hover, would it not? So I don't understand, like, why would you just turn off the engine all of a sudden and just let the thing sink if you got to get out in the water? It should be in hover mode, be allowed to be in hover mode, and then go down, swim, dive down, get what you need to get, and then get back up and just get back in the car when it's hovering over. I don't understand why it sinks when you get out. And it's not fast on land or air. So even though it does travel across water really quickly, it's not a fast car when you just take it on land, and it's not a fast car in the air. As you guys saw, the oppressor blew it away in both tests. And the oppressor was gliding; it wasn't even flying. So the oppressor blows it away in the air and on the land. So it's not. And if the oppressor beats it, it's going to lose to most supercars easily on the road as well. And most other air vehicles are also going to pass it. And another con here is it cannot use drive-by guns. And what I mean by that specifically is the game is forcing you, if you don't buy any of the weapons, you can use the AP pistol, the SMG, all the other pistols, but if you get the weapons, the game forces you to use the machine gun and the missiles. So it's kind of annoying. It's like, why can't I switch to my regular drive-by guns? Why can't I? You know, that was the one good thing about the Night Shark, is the Night Shark let you switch between the machine guns that it has in it and let you switch between the drive-by weapons. I don't understand why this vehicle doesn't. And another con is it does not climb quickly. So what I mean by that exactly is it will not go up in the air quickly. So if you want to climb and you want to get up really, really high in the air quickly, you're not going to be able to. You eventually will be able to get up really high in the air, but it does not climb as quickly as other aircraft. And finally, this one you guys are probably wondering what I mean exactly by this, but sets a dangerous future. And what I mean by this exactly is this car really has no purpose being in GTA Online. I mean, it was a bad idea. In my opinion, it was a bad idea when they launched the Oppressor, because that was a vehicle that was never like in a Grand Theft Auto game. And hear me out on this, even if you disagree. Just think about it this way. If you guys remember the old Saints Row games, I love the old Saints Row games. I played them, Saints Row 1 and 2. And if anybody knows what I'm talking about, if you played Saints Row 1 and 2, you will know what I'm talking about on this. Saints Row 1 and 2 were beautiful games. They were amazing games. Then when Saints Row 3 came out, they went completely over the top. And in Saints Row 4, they went even more over the top. If this thing becomes a norm, flying cars, flying motorcycles, what are they going to add next? If there is going to be a naval DLC, that's if there is a naval DLC, what are they going to add next? A boat that retracts wings? Like, think about it this way, like, what is Grand Theft Auto becoming? And if they keep adding vehicles like this, what is the next GTA game going to look like? Is it going to have these kind of vehicles, like, regularly? Are they going to become a common thing? And that's what I'm worried about. And I understand that GTA is not a realistic game. It's not supposed to be. It's a game where you play as a criminal, and you're trying to make money in the game, but it's not that. It's an over-the-top game, but it's not over-the-top action. And I'm really worried about GTA going down the path of Saints Row. So I'm not against them putting in a Back to the Future car, but I don't see why they had to make it fly. That's just my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review. This was my review. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I will be reviewing the Kanjali next. Take care, everyone.